Well, welcome to the Kristi Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Hey, my friend, welcome back to another episode of the Kristi Jones Show. So glad we're hanging out today. This is really getting towards the end of July, 1st of August. So we are just slamming through summer. I mean, it's just crazy how fast the time goes. And if you've been following the podcast, these last 3 or 4 episodes, I've really shared content and information that really applies to this season of the year and things that are really going to help you to stay on track with making sure that you are really making time for yourself to have that fulfillment and to do the things that you're wanting to do at this time of year. And I offered the Flourishing Summer Strategy, which is my free guide to help you kind of frame out what your summer months, what you want them to look like, what you want to experience, the experiences that you want to create for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. And so when it comes to like mid-September, you're not lifting your head from your laptop, your emails, all the things and going, where did time go? I didn't do any of the things that I wanted to do. So if you're interested in that free guide, go to the show notes below. There's still time for you to implement. They're very simple strategies that you can put to work for yourself right away. So go down to the show notes and snag that if you are interested. So today I want to talk about it's this kind of a light episode. I wanted to talk about 5 things that are really making my life so much easier right now. So the first two are probably these are for the ladies. Okay, the first two, my girls, y'all listen up, okay? Because I've got some 2 beauty tips that have really made this summer so much easier, and I'm gonna keep on doing these things even after the summer season. And then the next 3, it's literally for anybody. And you're gonna want to stay tuned for those too. So these are 5 things that are really making my life so much easier right now. And I don't want to keep that information for myself. So I want to share that with you too, because we hang out all the time here on the podcast. And I do share a lot of other content and information that is helpful in your personal growth. As you know, I'm a life coach and a high performance coach. So a lot of the things that I share here tie into the work that I do. But the point of this is so you live your life to the fullest. And if these like small little things, what I consider small things in life, but they're making my life so much easier, like why do I want to keep those to myself? No, I'm going to share those with you too. So I'm going to go through those fairly quickly. And the first one is a sunscreen slash, I'm using it for makeup, but I'm going to show it to you here if you're watching on YouTube. It's Color Science. So it looks like this right here in this bottle. This is my second bottle that I've gone through. And so it's Color Science. Now I'm going to link it down below in the show notes, so don't worry, you can go there. I'm not an affiliate. There's nothing like that. There's no commission or kickback. This is truly just something I use almost every day, pretty much every day, unless I've had to have like a full face of makeup for whatever reason. But this is what I have on right now too. So it is so let me back up. So Color Science, and I specifically it's the glow. And so this one has a sheen to it. It has a glow factor to it. And you may not like that. So they have one that's not glow. We'll say that. I don't like that one because it's just, I mean, it's a tinted sunscreen, but it's just flat. And I kind of like that glowy look if I'm going to use something like this. So it is a 50 SPF, and it is let me see, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to want to see this. So I'm going to put some on my finger so you can see I have nothing. I'm totally doing this on the fly. Have nothing to wipe my finger on after I'm done. But that is the color of it. And it is a fairly light color. Here, I'll just put some on my face right here for you to see if you're watching the episode. Now I need to wipe my finger off somewhere. Um, but that is literally the color of it. And it's not heavy. It's really light. I put it all over my face. It's just enough tint and enough coverage that I use it like you would use a foundation. But I feel like my skin can breathe when I use it. It's not so heavy that it feels like it's suffocating my skin. Now, in San Diego, there's not a lot of humidity and literally like anything feels good there. But in Oklahoma, there is so much humidity here that if I have anything heavy on my face, it's like suffocating my skin. This does not feel that way. So even in very humid conditions, the color science, it's a sunscreen, but again, it has some color to it. So I'm using it as a foundation in place of a foundation. Um, and I'm using the Glow. Now, it's called a face shield. That's a weird word. I would never say that. Um, it's sunscreen, but whatever. Face shield is what it says on the bottle. And you can get this online. I bought it at where I go to get my facials done. So they carry it there, but literally you can get this anywhere. They might even carry it in some stores. I'm not sure, but again, I went on their website and you can definitely get it there. So I'll put a link to Color Science down below. But 50 SPF, I love that. Now I use it on my face and all the way down on my neck. And I've gone through, this is like I said, this is my second bottle, and I started with that bottle in May. So I went through quite a bit. It's great travel. It's not too big. So as you can see how big it is. Oops, it's not too big, to put in your, in your carry-on. It'll go through the security check, I guess is what I'm trying to say, based on the ounces of it. So this has made my life so much easier, simplified the whole makeup routine for summer. So that's number one. Second thing I'm going to share with you guys, I used to do lash extensions. I used to go every 2 weeks, lay there, and I loved it. I really did love it. And thank goodness I had just a great technician that she did a great job. And so it wasn't that I hated it. I just, honestly, because of travel and life, it became really hard. I mean, I did those for like 5 years, I want to say. I had those pretty much the whole time. Maybe, I'd take little breaks here and there, but for 5 years. And so I kind of segued into that really quickly. I'm talking about item number two now. I'm talking about lashes. So, and I'm going to tag it down below in show notes, so don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So I used to do that. And then, like I said, life happens. We were traveling more to where I was just bouncing around more. So it just wasn't easy to hit those appointments. And it just, honestly, it takes time to drive to the appointment and time to, have the lash extensions touched up and all the things. So I had them taken off and went to just mascara, which I do a lot of the days. But if you've ever had lash extensions, okay, and then you don't have them, brace yourself for those first few days because you're looking at yourself and you're like, it's like a bald cat. Like I had lashes. It's just I was so used to seeing myself wake up in the morning and have my lash extensions. It was like my instant like wake up glam moment, which I felt like I can fully have if I want to. But now here's what I do instead. This is item number two that's made my life so much easier. It is the self-adhesive, like pre-glued lash clusters. Oh my gosh. Okay, hear me out. I'm going to show them to you, okay? And I'm going to link these down below because these I get on Amazon. Here's one that I use if you're watching on YouTube. This is more of I consider it more of a natural look. And I have these on right now, but sometimes I will double them up for a little extra on the ends, okay, on the outer part of my eye. So these love. This is another brand that I've gotten on Amazon. These are a much bolder look. As you can see, I'm almost out of those. And that's, more volume, we'll say. And then, so those I get on Amazon. I will link below the same the brand basically. And then you have to pay attention when you're ordering. Are you doing the volume? Are you doing the natural look? And they have like a wispy look. I mean, and there's not expensive at all. So like play around with them. It's an instant way. Why does this make my life easier? Because it's like I can do some makeup and I might put on mascara and then I might decide, I just want a little extra bump bump on my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just literally, I wish I had they come with these tweezers type of tool, not tweezers, but similar. And you like you just pluck it right off of there with that. And then they already have the glue. And that was the other thing. Like, I'm not dealing with glue. I'm not coordinated like that. Like, I'll probably glue my eyes shut. Like, it's just not a good thing. Okay. I've tried other lash things before and it's just not my jam. Like, it doesn't end well. The pre-glued ones are just enough and they literally go under here. Okay. So there's none of this on top. Literally, you just tap them on right under here. Best invention ever. I have turned so many friends onto these. They're dying about them. I was actually at a doctor's appointment and she was like, your lashes look so good. And I'm like, really? Well, and she goes, and she doesn't have lashes, just regular mascara. She doesn't do lash extensions. Anyways, we got to talking and I'm like, girl, these are so easy. And so I'm texting my doctor. She's like texting me later and I'm sending her all the links from Amazon. And so it's crazy. I was like, I'm getting asked about this all the time. So I need you guys to know. You girls need to know about these. If you're wanting just like that just instant little pop, right? That just makes you go, oh my gosh, I love this look. Now, the cool thing too is they just come right off. Now, here's what I do. I mean, I'm just going to tell you how I do it. So they're meant to be worn like just for the day, I think. I mean, it says you can wear them each time. It says you get like 6 wears out of them. But this is my personality. Now, you don't have to do what I do, but I'm just telling you what I do. So when I put these on, when they say 6 wears, I'm like, well, that means like I can probably get 5 or 6 days out of them, which is exactly what I do. Now, and they stay on. Now, I wash if I have anything on my eyes, like any eyeshadow or whatever, I will wash that, but I don't scrub my lashes. Does that make sense? So you don't like just wash when you're washing your whole face, you don't scrub the lash area if you're wanting to keep them on for another day or two. And I also don't sleep on my face. I know some people are like pillow sleepers, and I sleep like a mummy, honestly. I know you're like, Chrissy, we don't care how you sleep, but you need to know this because if you're a rough sleeper, meaning like if you roll around with your pillow and your face is all in there, they're probably not going to make it through the night. But how I sleep, literally, like I don't know how I do it, but I just lay there and I just sleep. Now I might turn to the side, but it's weird. I never have ever found myself, and I can tell because we get lines on our face when we sleep, if we crush our face at night. But I'm not I don't crush my face on the pillow and I don't sleep my face down. So, anyways, it's not a problem for me based on that I sleep like a mummy at night. So my lashes, when I put these self-adhesive clusters on, literally I can get them to last like all week. So I love them. One last thing. This brand right here, it's called Kiss. I buy these at CVS. Like if I'm on the road and I'm like, holy cow, my lashes aren't hanging on or they're looking kind of and I need to get those changed out, or I have something coming up, or I get a call and need to do a podcast interview or something, on the fly. I will just pop in to the drugstore, so CVS, Walgreens, whatever, and I get these. And the Kiss brand, I'm sure they carry them at Target, Walmart. I'm sure they're carried everywhere, but it's the Kiss brand. I'll link that below as well. They work great too. They're not my favorite as far as like the texture, and just the way the lash curls, but they work. So, and honestly, this is what I started with. So I started with these at the drugstore and then found other options on Amazon and then just started sampling different ones. So lash clusters, pre-glued. It's like I can't live without them. And literally saves me so much time in getting ready and I feel put together. So, I'm a lash girl and I'm a lip gloss girl. So those are the two things. And there you go. Okay, number three, you guys. Now we're moving out of the whole beauty thing, but your girl likes to try a lot of beauty products. And I really do believe that when we feel good and we do things that make that, and you have to do it for you, okay, first of all. But if you're doing things that just makes you feel good, like you're just like, yes, I love that, you're going to show up in your life, in your day, in your world in a much different way. Now, there are definitely days, I'm clean faced and I'm all about it, but most of the time, I'm like, I like to go ahead and put some mascara on, put some lipstick on, some lip gloss on. And if I've got those lash clusters, girl, they are going on. Okay. So saved me so much time, so simple in the summer, and definitely something that you want to try. Okay. Number three, let's move on. I got three more things. Okay. Number three, this has really been a lifesaver in an efficiency time saver standpoint. And it's called, I say Nota. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, oh well, but it's Notta. Again, I'm going to put a link to that website in the show notes. So Nota is an AI note taker. And why I think you want to know about this is it does so many things, has saved me so much time, helped me be more efficient and at work and with podcast and coaching and all of the things that I do. And it's really helped with efficiency. It's saved me. I don't even know how much time it saved me. It's like ridiculous. It's been, at first I was like a little skeptical, and they have a free version that you can start with, which is what I did. And I think I've been on Nota for four, since March. So March of 2025 is when I signed up. So I did the free for whatever their trial was and tried it out. And I was like, oh, this is so great. I'm still learning all the things that it does. But here's what an AI note taker, it can record meetings, it can transcribe meetings, which is what I use it a lot for. I will take a recording and I will upload it. So you can take any recording that you have. And you can also record, like if you have a staff meeting, any kind of meeting, and you want to record it, you can actively record it in that app. But you can also, what I've used it most for is to upload videos. So upload podcast, upload coaching sessions, upload meetings, and then have it transcribe it into text. And it's like magic. It does it. And then it can summarize that meeting for me. What it's allowed me to do is then it can summarize a podcast. It can, if I'm looking for some bullet points to pull out of a podcast that I've done, it will do that for me. It will give me the full word by word transcript. It also, if you've got multiple people speaking, it can also identify the speakers. So meaning it would separate if I'm doing a podcast interview, let's say, and then I upload that video into Nota, Notta. If I upload it into Nota, it will then, it'll separate out the words and the text that I say, and then it'll transcribe the words that the other person says. And I mean, you can have multiple people. You just have to tell it how many people or how many voices are in the recording, and it will figure all that out. Crazy. Okay, saves you so much time. So summarize meetings, transcribe meetings, transcribe, like you just upload it. You can even do the voice recording, but mine are a lot of times are video recording because I record my coaching sessions, and we do a lot of those face to face, like on video. And so I'm able to not only provide my client a recording of the coaching session, but I can also very quickly give them the full transcription, and then it will I can ask Noda to then take that transcription and just create like, the bullet points of those sections per, let's say. And that allows my client to then look at it and then know, oh, if I want to rewatch or re-listen to something, I can go to this, they know kind of where to fast forward to in the video. So Noda is an AI note taker. It records, transcribes, summarizes meetings. It is such a great efficiency tool. I can think of so many ways that you could utilize that really in any business. So I'm going to put a link down there and it'll be in the show notes. So just look for that and try it out. It has literally just made my life so much easier and my work so much easier. It basically has saved me a ton of time to where then I can take that time and do something else. So check it out. Do the free version, sample it. I mean, you've got nothing to lose. So love Notta, Notta. All right, number four. Number four, um, something that I sampled with last year, and this, as we kind of went into summer this year, decided that I was going to do something more consistent on it. And it has to do with IV therapy. So this is a routine that I've implemented in my life, and I'm still working on really making it solid as a routine. So, because like I said, I just really jumped into this as far as a regular thing, the beginning of this summer. And so I'm talking this through with you just because I'm really excited because it's already made my life so much easier. And this is like a life hack that I want to make sure that you know about, and that's the IV therapies. So IV therapies, they're literally everywhere in every city. And just go, Google it, chat, do chat GBT, learn about IV therapies. So what you'll find is places that offer these IV therapies literally for a variety of things. And it's going to provide extra hydration. A lot of times there's different, everyone is a little bit different, but like where I go, the two places that I go, I have one in Carlsbad and one in Norman. So they have like a vitamin pack option. There's ones that are more for recovery from, like workouts and recovery. There's all kinds of I guess there's a lot of different options when it comes to the IV therapy. The ones that I've really enjoyed are the vitamin packs, the wellness packs. After I've traveled, I would go in and get the IV therapy for like, because you get dehydrated after travel. So it's extra hydration. Before I did some international travel, I went in and I kind of decided I was going to preload my body with a lot of immune boosting properties. So I did an IV therapy that was more immune boosting. Can't believe it's that hard to say, right? But immune boosting is a really good option to do if you're feeling a little run down, if you've been super stressed, if you're getting ready to do a lot of travel. I mean, so educate yourself on IV therapies because yeah, it takes a little bit of time if you're going to go in, but they also, most of these places offer mobile services. So they would come to your office, they'll come to your home, and you can get the IV treatment that way. And so IV therapy, literally, if you're still like, I have no idea what you're talking about, it is literally like an IV drip. So it's just like they, do the needle right here in the elbow area. You've selected the level of hydration that you want, and then whatever supplements that you're wanting to, energize your body with. And there are just a host of choices. And a lot of times you're seeing vitamin packs, you're seeing wellness packs, you're seeing things that help reduce inflammation, recovery, like sports recovery. So there's a lot of different options that you can do. And so it's worth kind of reading about it ahead of time and educating yourself on the options of the different IV therapies to see what you might need and what would best like suit you for right now. But that's what I've been doing. I've been focusing on hydration. There is a women's wellness one that I have sampled with and really liked it, and it, helps It has collagen. It's helping with skin and hair and nails, reducing inflammation. I think it's glutathione, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That one, my body feels so good when that glutathione is in the IV pack. I absolutely love that natural supplement. Definitely, and there's even anti-aging ones, and I, off the top of my head, I couldn't rattle off to you everything that's in that particular one. But these IV therapies, I look at it as ways to just supplement my wellness and supplement taking care of myself. One of the things that I just started doing, and I'll get back to you on my feedback on it, is NAD. And I just recently started the NAD injections. I'm really excited to see how my body responds, how I feel so far. Like I said, I'm super early in on that. But so far, I'm all positive, like all positive. Doing this a lot for longevity, brain health, just your cellular turnover and how it helps your cells repair. But I'll talk more on that later because I'm just brand new on NAD, on the NAD shots. So I'll circle back on that one. But overall, one of the things that's made my life, one of the top five to make my life so much easier are these IV therapies. So definitely check that out. I am going to link the one I go to in Carlsbad and the one I go to in Norman, Oklahoma. If any of you listening to this are in those areas, then you'll find that super helpful. Like I highly recommend those two places. But know that every city, like when I travel, I mean, they're everywhere. They are literally everywhere. So take a look into that to see if that's something that would be beneficial for you to roll in to taking really good care of yourself. Okay, number five, my last one on five things that have made my life so much easier lately, and that is batching my content. And I might say that, and you're like, I have no idea what that means because maybe you're not active in the space of creating content for your brand or creating content for your business, or maybe even if you work for someone else, maybe that's not in the role of what you do for the company you work for. Batching content can mean for myself, it's when I'm making podcast, when I'm recording video for reels, when I'm just recording video that I might use at a later time for another project. So batching content is basically when, because here's the thing, if you have to create content for your brand, your business, for what you do, there's things that go into it that it seems simple, but then you get into it and you're like, this is time consuming. It can be a little draining at times. There's days you wake up and you're like, I've got, you feel like I have to do that. Like I have to go record this and I have to create this content. And generally, if you're in that energy, you don't put out the best content because, I mean, it just comes across in the video and in the energy that you put forth in whatever you're recording. So what I have found, and I've been doing this a long time as far as batching content. So I've leaned into this concept for quite a while. And that is selecting certain days that I do my content, meaning I'm batching, I'm creating and taking that time, whatever time I've set aside. It could be one day a week, it could be 2 days a week. I mean, you decide what that is. I have a system, summer's kind of messed with my system a little bit because my schedule's been a little bit all over the place, but you decide what works for you. But overall, batching content is you deciding on a time frame, a day, a specific time, giving yourself X amount of time that the goal is for you to create your content, record the videos. If it's a podcast like this, you're recording the podcast. So at the end of June, I recorded all of July's podcasts. I sat down, I did those podcasts, and all the video part of that and recording and audio was done. So I did that because my workload and what I wanted to create for myself for the month of July, I didn't want to be strapped to having to, get in there and create, the podcast by a certain deadline to get it to the team so they can get all the things done. I wanted to just minimize the amount of time I had to be behind the camera, at the laptop, at the computers, all the things. So by batching that early, meaning recording an entire month's worth of video, it just made July completely streamlined. So batching content is really, you can apply that to anything. So the videos, the recordings you need to do, if you do reels, whatever that might be, if you batching it, you can kind of like your frame of mind's like, okay, here's the game plan for today, or here's the game plan today from 12 to 3, and that's all I'm doing. And someone said, well, I will look the same in all the videos. Well, that's where you got to plan ahead a little bit. And if you're going to batch and you get serious about batching, you can even change outfits, change locations, like get uber focused on how you can be the most productive in that container of time or that day that you've set aside to batch content. And how can you get creative so you can switch up your locations, change the outfits, whatever it is you need to do. And that even goes for like videos that maybe aren't going to be speaking on the videos, but you need to have like B-roll footage or videos that you can utilize for later for a variety of things. So know that batching content, it helps your brain kind of organize, like, okay, today, it kind of really makes you super focused to where you end up putting out really good content and quality content because you're just dialed in and you know that that is the mission of like today is a content day. Today is a create content day. So I really encourage you to consider that if creating content, if you're a content creator, whatever it might be, to really consider that, how that batching your content, how that can help you it'll lighten the mental load. It frees up time. And it actually, when you sit down to then put the content to work for you, you already have like a whole inventory that you can pull from and you're not like scrambling to record something or get something put together. You already have it's almost like having a library that you can go to and then pull out what you need. You might not use some of the content. That's perfectly fine, but I have a folder where I just throw things in there, even if I'm not batching. Like I'm always looking, to me, content is just life. It's just daily things. It's the process. It's not necessarily like a whole curated video, but very simple things can be your content. I think a lot of times people overthink what that needs to be and they make it way too complicated. So last thing, number 5 of what's made my life so much easier is batching content. So if you have any questions about that or you want to talk about that more, reach out to me. I am so happy to help you on that. So, all right, you guys, well, those are the top 5 things that have made my life so much easier lately. I wanted to make sure that you knew that too, because there might be 1 or 2 of those that you want to put to work for yourself in your own life or at your work. So, let me tell you, number 1 and 2, sunscreen and lashes, big deal. Very big deal. So don't overlook those 2. All right, you guys, I will see you next week. Same place, same time. Until then, keep flourishing and we will talk soon. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast. And I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the